Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Curt and Paul Discuss. I'm Curt.
I'm Paul.
And today we're going to be covering Mission Impossible Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout. As you guys may have noticed, I haven't been here in a couple of episodes. Had some issues with my wife being out sick. She had to have some surgery. She's doing great. She's recovering. But that's why I haven't been here. So I'm glad to be back. And
I'm glad to have you back. It was kind of, it was tough doing those. I didn't have anybody to like fill in those blanks sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I was sitting there, okay, so what was I talking about?
Yeah.
And usually you would pick it up at that point, and then I would get my thought back. But I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I had to do so many.
Well, I appreciate you
start overs.
I appreciate you picking up the slack for me while I was out. Hopefully we won't have that. I told my wife that nobody is allowed to get sick in my house for 10 years. So went and saw this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. It was certainly a Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
It was certainly, it fell in the parameters of what Mission Impossible. Huge budgets, incredible stunt work. They set the bar high on that type of stuff. And Tom Cruise is insane.
He's very insane.
I mean, he does all his own stunts.
He's going to die at some point doing stunts.
Well, if anybody wants to know how Tom...
Write it down now. I said that because, he actually almost did die on the set of The Last Samurai.
Did he?
Yeah, they said they were doing some kind of sword fight, and they wasn't using real swords. They were using like aluminum swords. Mm-hmm. But if you get hit hard enough,
right,
you can die. And they said he came within inches of getting hit by one of those swords.
Well, I know that on the last Mission Impossible, not this one, but what was the last one?
I don't even know. There's been I don't even know. What is this, the fifth or sixth one?
6, 7, I don't know. It's way up there.
I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't remember anything from the last movie.
The last one had that huge stunt where he was hanging on the outside of a big plane at the very opening of the movie.
Right, and he got
hurt on that one.
Did he get hypothermia or something?
I don't know. I know he got hurt doing the plane stunt, and he also broke his foot on that one doing a jump from one building to the next. And he's
insane.
I guess he's just an adrenaline junkie.
In fact, let me. I got a video here. Let me play this video real quick. I'll see what you think it is. I won't play the whole thing, but if it starts.
Halo jump is a sequence Tom and I have been talking about for a number of years.
Tom will be the first actor to do a halo jump on camera.
Halo jump is high altitude, low open.
Military jump out 25,000 feet.
Opening a chute below 2,000 feet.
And sneak into a foreign country without being detected. That's the idea of Halo.
There's a lot of risks in going to 25,000 feet.
The audience can tell when something's been cheated, so it's important to be doing it all for real.
There's dangers of hypoxia and the bends.
You start losing your mind, but you don't realize it.
We had to develop a special helmet that is both a prop and a life-saving device. The first phase of the Halo sequence was building a wind machine that was large enough for us to be able to rehearse. So we built one of the world's largest wind tunnels. No one thought it would require over 100 jumps to get the scene.
We needed the UAE. Had they not stepped in, we would not have been able to accomplish the sequence.
We've been doing 5 jumps a day out of the Twin Otter. In the afternoons, we'll do 3 C-17 jumps, and it's challenging.
We're shooting a nighttime sequence.
The light has to be perfect. We only get 1 shot a day.
We have to shoot it as close to sunset as we can, so we have exactly 3 minutes every day to get the shot.
All right, he's nuts, man.
But okay, this is the question I want to ask about this. They said he did a halo jump. A halo jump, like they said, is you go to 25,000 feet. Now, usually when you jump out of plane, I think they go to 10,000 feet, right?
10 or 12, somewhere.
Yeah,
in that,
yeah.
that range.
And I think you open your chute above 4,000 feet.
Right.
So this is something like only Navy SEALs do. And I'm like watching that little featurette and I'm thinking, why would it be necessary to do that, do a real halo jump? Nobody's going to be able to tell that you're at 25,000 feet versus 15,000 or 10,000.
Right.
Or even 5,000. No one's going to know.
And I mean, do the landings on green screen, you know.
Right. And who's going to, what he was saying, well, we need to do it because the audience knows when I don't know if we showed that part, but either Tom Cruise or the director, Ralph McCoy, says, well, the audience knows when you're faking it. I'm like, but what was even funnier, when they had that scene, you can actually tell part of it was CGI because they fall through a lightning storm, right?
Right.
That was obviously, there's no way they did that.
Not, right. So, yeah, it was ridiculous.
So the first part, okay, I accept he was jumping out of a plane because you can see his face and whatnot. And you can tell from that featurette, they designed a special helmet to do it.
Right.
But I was like, all that. Yeah, that's real. But that whole thing where he's like trying to save the other guy.
Yeah.
Who got hit? Spoilers. I'm just going to say it right now. We're going to spoil a couple things. Maybe not everything, but a few things. But the guy he jumps out the plane with gets hit by lightning, and he has to save him. I'm like, they did not shoot that. There's no way they could have shot that as a practical effect.
No. I don't know.
So why waste the time doing a halo jump?
Because it's Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible.
He has a death wish, this man. I'm telling you, he's going.
Yeah.
That's real. No, like we were saying before we started, he probably has some bungee cords or something.
Some cables.
But you could tell all those jumps he did in the movie were real. I mean, because they were right on his face. They didn't cut away to a wide shot. They had like a camera right above when he jumped. And you could see his face coming into the frame of the camera, and it was like, wow. But I'm like,
I like drones, right? So
I was thinking about that.
And there was a whole bunch of drone work in this.
No, there was even that scene where they put the guy's tracker in the drone. Yeah. I was like, dude, I said Kurt's gonna like that.
Yeah, I was like, but then it was on there for 2 seconds. I was like, show what it does, what they're doing with it. But yeah, they took.
Well, I like the fact that they're because the cops are closing in. And it's kind of tense because you can hear it getting closer and closer, and then they put it in the drone and it flies away, and then you kind of hear the sirens,
helicopter fly away.
Yeah, they're flying away.
It's right on top of
so
them.
If they would have showed it, it wouldn't have had the same impact, I don't think. But
right.
I actually like that.
Did you see who was one of the producers on this?
No.
J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's in everything.
I did see that.
I mean, this guy's everywhere.
I think he's produced all of the movies since the third one. I think didn't he direct the third one
of the Mission Impossible?
Yeah,
I did. I honestly did not know that he was involved in the Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I think he directed the third one.
But
I could be wrong about that.
He's like Samuel L. Jackson. He's a hard-working man in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's
everywhere.
He does television shows too. He does he did Lost.
Right.
And
I can't name the one that he's working on now, but I know that
he's done a couple of them. As always, if I wasn't doing a show right now, I could remember all of them. But because we're under the lights, my mind goes blank. But he's in a lot of stuff.
Well, I want to bring up the issue I had with this one.
Okay.
Because you can only tell a story, so many times, right? And Mission Impossible, I think that they put the whole show into a basket of, we're going to just bombard you with these incredible stunts and car chases and motorcycle chases and gunfights and all this stuff. But what they've done in the past was they also gave you a really unique, creative story. And I feel like they missed the mark on this one. I feel like, and I would say the last one had a really good story to it. This one was kind of a recycled terrorist. They even used some of the same bad guys from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That guy they have to, the bad guy they have to retrieve at that one point. I was like, he was in the last movie? I didn't even remember him, really.
He wasn't in the last movie. He was in the movie before.
The one before the last.
Yeah, I think.
There was too many one thing I didn't like about it was there was like 50 double crosses. And you're like, now who are these guys? Who are they with? And then they would shoot those guys, and then some other guys would show up, and we're like, okay, those are CIA guys, right?
Yeah, that was very confusing.
But then they were like double agents, double CIA agents. It was like I couldn't keep up with who was who. I kind of felt like, have you ever seen Seinfeld? He made that joke about he's always the guy in the theater that doesn't know what's going on.
It's embarrassing. This is an embarrassing thing to have to admit, but I'm the one that you see in the parking lot after the movie talking with his friends going, oh, you mean that was the same guy from the beginning? Nobody will explain it to you. When you're in the theater, you can't find out. Why did they kill that guy? Why did they kill him? Who was that guy? What was that guy? I thought he was with them. Wasn't he with them? Why would they kill him if he was with them? Oh, he wasn't really with them. I thought he was with them. It's a good thing they killed him.
It's like, I thought that guy was with them. So why did they kill that guy? I thought that he was with. Oh, he wasn't with them. He was.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
That's what I felt like watching this movie. I was like, who, and what, and okay, that guy. So this guy's a deacon. One thing I was okay. So let's get into the plot. The plot centers around 3 little balls
of plutonium.
Of plutonium,
right?
Which they lose at the very beginning. So this is my question. I think I know, but I'm not sure. Who stole the plutonium? Because they were trying to get it back.
It was the I can't remember exactly who they said just stole it, but I know it was stolen from a Air Force base in
No, I'm talking about
Russia.
Who stole it from Ethan Hunt and the IMF team. You remember they had it. They bought it from the German guy, or they were about to buy it, and then they got ambushed by another group.
It was that the white. What was her widow?
No, she weren't. But you remember the reveal about her?
Oh yeah, she
wasn't.
That's right.
It wasn't
right.
her.
I'm not sure.
She was a broker between the person who stole it. Okay, so there's, from what I understand, and it's funny that little tape he gets at the beginning. The self-destruct tape. Yeah, but it's set up like a little mini movie. It's pretty much. It was like a movie within the movie, explaining the whole plot of the movie,
right?
Explaining who all the bad guys were. I was like, wow, these IMF guys, they've got some kind of director doing these tapes, because it set up everything. It had pictures of everybody, had video. So basically, in the last movie, I guess they were fighting against some group called the Syndicate, and they beat the Syndicate in the last movie, and they broke off into another group called the Apostles, and they stole some plutonium from some Russian scientist or something.
Well, it was a Russian military base.
Okay,
where they stole
but the guy that helped them steal was or helped them build these
devices.
These devices was some anarchist, and he believed that all religions should be.
There should be no religion.
There should be no religion. So he wanted to give it to this group. Anyway, Ethan is buying it off some kind of German guy who has the plutonium. Or maybe it was the scientists had just built the devices, but they needed the plutonium. But the IMF team was sent in to get it before they could.
Right.
So I think it was the Apostles. They ambushed the deal and stole it. And then they say they're going to sell it to someone in return for someone freeing the leader their group.
Right.
And Hunt intercepts.
I mean, this is.
I got this little movie bill from when I went into the theater.
I wish I
got all the characters.
Well, it's a testament to how confusing the whole storyline was. The fact that we're having a hard time pulling up. I mean, and we both just watched this movie today.
Right.
So,
but this guy right here, Sean Harris, that's the bad guy. They're trying to free him.
Solomon Kane, that's right.
Solomon Kane, played by Sean Harris. Got a nice, easy name for me to pronounce. Yeah. But, so this guy, who I guess was in the last movie, they steal the plutonium so they can free him because they don't want money, they want him freed.
Right.
And at the same time, Rebecca Ferguson, who's playing Ilsa Falls from the last movie, she's trying to kill him.
She'd been sent in by MI6.
Because I thought MI6 had him at the end of the last movie, but then they gave him up. But then now they want to kill him, so they send her in to kill him.
Well, yeah, they had him, but they had, they couldn't kill him because all these other governments wanted, and then it would have started an international incident.
So they send her in.
He used to be an MI6 agent. Solomon Kane was.
Yeah, okay.
Him and her were partners.
Okay.
And
see, that's the part I didn't remember from the last film. So she's sent in to kill him.
Because she's rogue right now.
She's rogue. And see, I thought she was with the IMF team for some reason. I don't know.
No, she was sent in by MI6 to assist the IMF in the last one. And then she had to go rogue because of this guy. And the only way that she could prove that she wasn't bad like him, like Solomon Kane, was by killing him. That was her only way back in.
Okay, so then there's this rogue agent that they're trying to figure out. What was the guy's name? John Lark?
Yeah, Lark, yeah.
So he's setting up to buy the plutonium through a third party, which is the White Widow, played by Vanessa Kirby. She's from, if you know Vanessa Kirby, I saw her for the first time on The Crown.
I didn't recognize her, but
she plays Princess Margaret. Where's her picture at?
Yeah, and like the whole that's her right there.
That's her.
Oh, and that's her down there too.
She looks very good as a blonde because, of course, on The Crown she played.
Or
she's brunette.
Brunette. In
I wonder if she's naturally blind. She probably is.
I don't know, but like the whole situation with and spoilers, we're not holding anything back on this one. Like her brother works for her, and she's an arms dealer, and she's in bed with every government agency in the world, and they let her operate because she gives them information.
Yeah.
And her brother is like her right-hand man, but he's kind of an idiot. And it makes it real easy for Ethan, who takes on the persona of.
Well, didn't I remember from that fourth movie? Didn't he did the same thing? So you're right. They do repeat a lot of stuff that was in other.
Yeah,
there was a guy who was going to sell some kind of nuclear device in the fourth movie, and Ethan just, instead of making himself look like the guy, he just went in as himself. He's like, hopefully they haven't met. I was like, hey, you did the same crap.
So I'm saying it's just recycling the story over again,
because they track down the guy who's going to make the buy, and something happens to him. But they can't make. They were going to make a mask, and they can't make a mask, and so he goes in as the guy.
Which that sequence, that action sequence there in the bathroom at this place where they were going to meet up in, where was they, France?
Yes, it was France. And that's another thing. They didn't do any inner titles to tell you where you were.
I mean, they showed the map, and you're like Bolivia, like when he got that message, he was in Bolivia, not Bolivia. Where was that?
They were in Kashmir. I know they were in.
Kashmir was where it ended.
They started in Berlin. Then I think they went to France. They had a lot of chase sequences in France. And then I don't know.
I mean, I think the majority of it took place in France. The majority of the meat of the movie, and London, because London was where.
Were they in London?
Yeah, and London is where they were supposed to switch Solomon for the plutonium. And so
I don't know. I wasn't. At a certain point, I stopped paying attention to where they were because
it didn't really matter.
It really didn't matter. There was so much action. At a certain point, there were so many double crosses that I was just like, you know what? I don't even.
It was really hard to tell who the bad guys were.
Yeah. It was like at some point I was like, I don't even care.
And then you had
just watch the action
IMF,
and enjoy that.
And you had the IMF and the CIA.
And the CIA.
You had Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin, were playing counterparts in the IMF and the CIA, and they're both like
Speaking
flexing
of Alec
their
Baldwin,
muscle.
You bringing up Alec Baldwin made me think of him playing Trump and Trump saying fake news, fake news. What do you think about that scene where they were literally making up
fake news?
Fake news.
Yeah.
Using the same network that Trump has called fake news, CNN. They had Wolf Blitzer.
Do you think that was intentional?
I thought it was intentional because I said this would be when Wolf Blitzer walks in the room and then takes off his mask. Said he's going to say,
and it's Simon Pegg.
Yeah, but I thought oh, he's going to say, how's that for fake news? I was so sure he was going to say something like about fake news, but they never say anything. But I was laughing at that scene. I was like, nah.
Yeah, I
because
that was funny.
CNN is the network that he's called fake news.
Mm-hmm.
And Alec Baldwin is in his movies. It's like, man, how could they not take that opportunity to make that joke?
Well, but I don't think that was intentional because the amount of time ago that this was shot and all this stuff happened.
He was saying that stuff 2 years ago.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's been saying it like a lot here lately, though.
But no,
I thought that's what you were referring to.
No. I think that was the joke of that scene, and why they could have used anybody, but they specifically used somebody who's
that's
very
fair
visible at CNN.
That's fair enough.
And there was a lot of funny moments like that. My favorite little funny moment in the film was when they're doing all their spy stuff and they're just going about their routine. Because a lot of times in these movies, they just do all this stuff in public, just expecting not to get caught at anything. But they open the garage door and that cop is just sitting there.
Oh yeah,
and she turns around, looks at them. They're putting the guy.
Yeah.
The guy has the mask over. They put him in the car, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah." Ving
crap.
Rhames is just sitting there like holding him, like,
and they're like looking at each other. What do we do? Because they can't kill her because she's an innocent. That was hilarious.
But the reality of a lot of the things they're trying to humanize Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
They're trying to humanize him by saying that he'll risk the mission. He'll risk the entire world to save one person. So a team member, or in this instance, this cop.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it, if there was a mission like that going down and there was this big spy, do you think for a second that they would let 3 balls of plutonium get taken over one guy being held hostage? No.
I wouldn't even do that.
They'd have dropped a bomb on the whole place and just blew it all up.
Yeah.
They'd have certainly shot that one French cop if that would have kept them
because going into the spy game that you can be sacrificed.
Oh, you will be sacrificed.
Yeah, so because
nobody retires from being a spy.
Well, I don't know about that.
I wouldn't think. You're either always a spy, kind of like bloody and like being in a gang.
Yeah.
I don't know,
but yeah, I would have, because that
was like a huge part of the story in this one, like them humanizing, making Ethan Hawke, because it opens up with him getting married, the wedding scene, and he's in love, and then a big part of the story is him and these 2 women and what he did, realizing that with his wife that he had to let her go because she got kidnapped, in one of the previous ones. And, this all came out in this story, and they talked about. But
I didn't know they had got divorced. Did you know that?
No, but it makes it. Well, I kind of knew that they got divorced when I think about it, because, at the end of that one, and I can't remember which one it was, but at the end of it, Ethan had taken off because he was dealing with his emotions of that. And it's like Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames were all talking about, you just got to give him his space, and, he's dealing with this stuff. But I tell you what, Simon Pegg is probably the hardest working co-star in Hollywood, because, he does the Star Treks.
Yep.
He's Scotty on Star Trek.
He was in Star Wars too.
He's in Star Wars. He's got
he was in The Force Awakens.
And then he's got his own stuff going on. I don't know if he's made anything where he was the lead in it lately, but he doesn't have to, because he's making a whole crap ton of money doing this. And Ving Rhames, I think this is about the only thing that he's been doing lately. But he's got money from way back when he was doing all kinds of movies.
I heard a while back that he's got some kind of back. Like when he did the first movie, he kind of had a contract to do more. He had one of those contracts where if they decide not to put him in the film, he still got paid for it.
Right.
So he gets paid like because he wasn't in either. I think it was the third one. He wasn't in the third one. He still got paid $7 million because he had.
Well, he's got a hell of a manager, doesn't he?
Yeah. He had like I forgot what kind of he had a participation clause or something. I forgot. Or pay or play or something like that. There's some kind of clause they put in some Hollywood contracts that you've got to put this person in the movie, and if you don't for whatever reason,
it's like a franchise contract. Yeah,
you have to pay them anyway. So
well, good for him. That was smart.
I don't know how many movies.
And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna pay."
So it's like he was probably at home in his underwear and he's making money. Because there was a while where you didn't see him in anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just like, hey,
well,
I'm getting paid for these movies whether I do them or
not. My theater was full, wasn't yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're making money.
Yeah,
these movies make money, And I guess at the end of the day, and we've said this before, at the end of the day, they're not doing it for the love of the art. You know,
I think Tom Cruise is.
That he does it for the love of the art?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's also a very savvy businessman.
Do you know he learned how to fly a helicopter just for this movie?
Really?
He already knows how to fly a plane, but he learned how to fly.
I believe it.
A helicopter for those.
That's how he's wired, man.
Yeah, those helicopter scenes.
You know, he was on what's that guy's name that does the sing along in the cars?
Carpool karaoke.
Yeah, he does carpool karaoke. What is his name? Well, anyway,
James Corden.
Yeah, James Corbin.
Corbin.
Yeah, James Corbin. He made James Corbin go skydiving with him.
He's crazy.
He's like, I'll be on your show if you go skydiving with me. And he made him jump out of a plane. Man. Like, dude, didn't you jump out of enough planes while you were making that movie? You're going to do it for...
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
And he'll probably live to be 100. Watch. He'll prove us all wrong.
Well, we're over 30 minutes. So what would you give this movie? A thumbs up or thumbs down? Recommend?
I'll give the action, based strictly on the action and the huge sequences, I'll give it a thumbs up. Overall rating, I give it about a 3 because I thought that the storyline was tired and that they could have done a much better job writing a storyline for this.
I would give the action a 5. And yeah, probably the story, because they did this same plot.
And if they haven't done it, everybody else has.
No, but they did it was basically the same plot from the 4th movie, the one with Paula Patton in it. Mm-hmm. It was basically they were trying to stop this guy wanting to nuke the world for some reason.
And there are good writers out there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was well written, but yeah, the plot was not original at all. The only thing original, well, not that one even. I was going to say the mole, the whole thing about the mole, but that really wasn't that original. That's what the first movie was about, there being a mole. And
like we both discussed, it was confusing.
It was very confusing.
It was confusing, and they lost me at a lot of times throughout this in the story because I didn't know who the bad guys were.
Yeah.
Or is it the CIA? Is it the apostles? Is it who's chasing him now?
Right.
Is it the White Widow's people? So I went honestly at that one scene where Ethan shoots those 3 guys for a minute.
Those were good guys.
No, those were the White Widow's guys.
So they were good guys.
Kind of. But
so
they were going to wipe out all those cops, and he stopped them from doing that. All those French cops.
True. That's true.
So they weren't good guys, but they were on his team at the time. But I didn't know who they were at first. When they first run up on there, I'm like, well, who's chasing him now?
Why did they need? You just brought up a good point. The White Widow's people was going to break that guy out. So why did they need Ethan? They already had a plan to do it. They needed,
I guess, I don't know. Man, again,
that doesn't make any sense.
Again, I don't know.
That's a big plot hole. They had a plan, and he kind of undermines their plan. But why?
The plan was already in place.
The plan was already in place. So why did they need him?
They didn't.
Because what was his contribution? They didn't want money. They want that guy released. So why?
And they're like, this is the price for the plutonium.
But they didn't need him to free the guy.
I don't know. That was a hole in their story.
God, I didn't think about that. But yeah, you're like.
Well, I mean, I would recommend going and seeing it.
Yeah, see it. It's you'll enjoy it. It's funny. It's action packed.
And the theater makes the action even better. So yeah, I would go see it in the theater because those huge action sequences and the really good digital sound and
it's got some beautiful women. I like the movies with the beautiful women.
Oh yeah,
it's got what's her name?
They're
Rebecca Ferguson. And
they're never tall women. Because they can't
Vanessa
be taller
Kirby.
than Tom Cruise.
Nah, they just put them on apple crates or something.
Yeah, he's standing on an apple crate, yeah. But
you know that scene where he was going to meet up with her, Elsa, and like they kept them a certain distance away from each other. You just see them walking off. You never see them standing by each other.
Yeah, because she's probably taller than he
is. I'm pretty sure she is.
Well,
that scene where he's fighting James Cavell, is his name Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, yeah, Superman.
You could tell they kind of cut away from that wide shot pretty fast because he's compared to
Cavell's
him
like 6'2", isn't he?
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, God, he kind of. It looks like he's fighting like a. We have an audience today, y'all. It was like fighting like seeing like a little kid fighting a grown man.
Well,
but they cut away from it real quick. You have to really look for it.
You know, that's funny that the directors have to take that into consideration when framing shots.
Yeah.
With Tom Cruise.
No, they've actually put him on top of. Or was that Chris O'Donnell? Chris O'Donnell's short too. I know in one movie they put Chris O'Donnell on top of. They had like planks that he was walking across. Well, because there's a scene where he's walking beside his co-star, and they had to do it because she was a little bit taller than him.
Oh, wow.
That's got to be embarrassing.
Well, go see the movie, and we'll be back in a week with another episode of Curt and Paul Discuss. Thanks for coming around, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks for stopping by.